Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand with me for our invocation and pledge.
Let us bow the head for a moment of silence. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Keeling, the roll, please.
Carrie Hodge, Ward 1. Here. Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Louis Tonsmeyer, Ward 3.
Here.
Lindsay McDaniel, Ward 4.
Here.
Diane Tate, Ward 5.
Here.
Ray Pruitt, Ward 6. Here.
Hail, hail, the gang's all here. We have our first order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes for May 2nd. Council, you've had these well in advance of tonight. Chair will entertain any questions, corrections, edits, or motions.
Mayor, I didn't see any corrections or additions. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our first order of business tonight is a little bit quacky. I'll ask Patty Eager to step forward with the Advocates for Children along with her special guest tonight.
Crack your shy.
And Patty, if you will oh, we're going to make the rounds here. You're going to be knocking over name tags and whatnot.
Quack.
Yeah, you know that's just a little girl in a suit.
Hi, Quacky.
You're going to freak out the young lady over there. Be careful of that.
Hey. Come on, Keith.
Oh, I'm scared.
That's just somebody in a suit.
Give it back.
Ms. Eager, would you like to step to the podium and make any comments?
I submitted it in writing.
Okay, I have. Would you at least like to tell everybody what's going on and why this duck is here, and then I'll read my script after that. Or you want me to do it afterwards? Sorry, we should have rehearsed this. If you'll step to the microphone for the and your name and address for the record keeper, please.
My name is Patty Eager, and my work address is 49 Monroe Crossing. My Cartersville address is 41 Wellington Drive, right next to the mayor. We get good police service on our street. And this is Quacky Duck. This is the 12th annual Duck Derby this year, and we're just grateful that we are still in business and still busily helping 2,600 kids every single year. Thank you for letting us crash your party.
But wait, there's more. We would like to welcome Advocates for Children's Quacky Duck to our council meeting tonight in recognition of, as Ms. Eager said, the 12th annual Duck Derby and the 9th annual Duck Dash coming up this Saturday. If you're unfamiliar with the event, 20,000 yellow rubber ducks were all labeled by a small army of volunteers just this afternoon, and they're being loaded into a dump truck device, a duck dumping device. I guess it'd be a dump truck. Okay. Advocates 8 programs help 2,600 children and families every year. Children right here in our communities. They receive no local government financial support, and must raise $700,000 locally each year to support the Children's Shelter. Court-appointed Special Advocates Program, Children's Advocacy Center, Safe Place, First Steps at Cartersville Medical Center, Rainbows in our primary and elementary schools, and more. So I'd like to go on record asking the citizens of Cartersville to support this organization as they celebrate 30 years of helping children by buying a Quacker's dozen, a quack pack of ducks in the race to bring back hope into children's eyes. Quacky has adoption papers with her tonight, and ducks can also be purchased online at advochild.org. It is getting close to the deadline. You could also buy them the day of the event.
That's right.
And I look forward to picking up my car Saturday. That'll look real bad if that happens now, won't it? Thanks for being here tonight. And the weather will be fine. I've decreed it so.
The weather is going to be perfect.
That's right. Thank you for making time to be here tonight. I know we also have another group of folks from the community here tonight that would like to speak, so at this time I'll call Linda Kellogg forward. And once again, your name and address for our clerk, please.
I'm Linda Kellogg, 92 Kellogg Circle, Cartersville, Georgia. Mayor Santini, Mayor Pro Tem Tate, the City Council, and all of those that's in attendance behind me, I'd like to ask for the MLK committee to stand as present. This may seem very small to some, but it's not business. It's the right thing to do. The city government, Mayor Santini, and other local officials have supported us with the right to assemble, the right to exercise our free speech, and the safety that's been provided to the community in January every year for the past 25 years is impeccable. And I just felt that it was time for us to come before you all to say thank you. Chief Tommy Culpepper and the Cartersville Police Department allows us to feel safe. And there are things sometimes that I know that's going on, but I feel safe. We feel safe. And we simply just want to say thank you for what you do. Sometimes you're overlooked for the smallest of things, but this is a big thing to us. Thank you so much.
Very kind. Thank you. Thank you all for what you do. All right, Connie, you got the next item. Try topping the flask, too. I dare you.
Mayor, we have 3 members on the Alcohol Control Board who are, their terms are going to expire in June. They are Richard Knapp, Martha Wilson, and Christine Brown. They've all 3 agreed to continue to serve if reappointed, and I recommend the approval of their work.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion would be in order.
Motion to approve these 3.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
They are approved. Mr. Porter, you have the next item.
Yes, Mayor, this is a lease agreement with Professional Probation Services to rent part of the old police station, which is now municipal court. The rent will be $1,100 per month if the City Council approves, and I recommend approval of this if there's no other changes required other than my mentions by City Attorney.
Okay. Mr. Lovell, would you like to start us off with those changes to that document? Because anything that is approved would need to be approved as amended, so if you'll please start us with
The
that.
two proposed amendments are that paragraph number 4, the first sentence should read, tenant agrees to provide the following services and rent, and then to add a paragraph number 31, which reads, landlord may terminate this lease with 30 days written notice.
Does 30 need to be struck?
No, that's something.
Okay. Those 2 amendments are for your consideration. Once again, council, if you make a motion, if you could make that motion as amended so that it is up to snuff with our legal counsel. Is there any discussion on this item? And if there is not, motion would be in order.
Call for motion to approve, including those 2 amendments that were
Second.
All right, so I've got a motion and a second to approve as amended. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I can see everybody's eyes. All right, motion carries unanimously. Ed, you've got the next several, I believe.
Mayor, Council. The first item is a final adjustment change order to our Tennessee Street Walgreens water main project. It's an increase of $10,851.20. This is to the original contract that we had with C&L Contractors, which was $86,510. And what we had the contractor do was some additional work that basically involved going ahead and tying the individual businesses' water services on and installing sewer service cleanouts on all the sewer services. This project is partially funded by a payment from Walgreens for $25,000. The rest of this is budgeted as part of the bond, with bond funds for the Tennessee Street Water Main Replacement Project. We recommend approval of this $10,851.20 change order. So,
Okay, any questions for Mr. Mullinax on this item? And if there are none, motion will be in order.
Motion for approval?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Continue on, please.
the next item involves our water main on Highway 411 near Peoples Valley Road. The DOT has the State Route 20 widening relocation project. It turned out our water line was in conflict with the work they were doing. Schweitzer Engineering was already performing similar work for design of a relocate for the Bartow County's water main in this area, so we were able to get them to give us a proposal for doing the engineering and permitting work on this. We felt like they could provide us with the best price. They have given us a price of $17,750, a price not to exceed $17,750. Includes design, permitting, and preparation of any needed easement plats. This will be paid for as a budget item for capital improvements. We do have the E-Verify and Save documents in hand. And then later on down the road, when construction actually takes place, we will need to negotiate a contract with them for project inspection.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this item? And if not, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next one.
Okay, the next item, bids were requested for cleaning our 4 water storage tanks. This was a task that was last performed 7 years ago, and so it's time to do that again. We received prices from 3 different contractors. Southeastern Underwater submitted a price of $13,500 to do the cleaning of the tanks. They'll be using an underwater robot. This saves us from having to empty the tanks and losing that water, so it's a savings using their service. We recommend approval of this contract with Southeastern Underwater, and this will be paid for from the budget.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
How do you control the robot to clean up, do you do it from a panel? I mean, it's got to be done mechanically by an individual, I would think.
Right, and it also has a video camera
okay.
with it, and so they're able to steer it around, and it basically does water vacuuming and vacuums up sediment that's accumulated on the bottom of the tank.
When I asked it, I've seen something like this done, but they always had an individual with the camera, you know, the monitor.
Mm.
And I was hoping it to be the same, you know.
There are other companies that do this with a diver, and one of the problems with that is the dive suit has to be disinfected.
Mm-hmm.
And so that actually is a savings to
Like
do it with it.
submarine,
Pardon?
but it goes down on the water.
No,
like
he
submarine?
actually wears a wetsuit.
Okay,
But
okay.
anyway.
Ed, do you remember how much it cost the last time we did it, maybe with the diver or emptying the tank?
No, I don't recall those prices.
Is the new technology more expensive or
No,
less?
it's less.
It's a lot less expensive. Good. So we don't lose the water and it's less expensive.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? And if there are none, a motion would be in order.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Go ahead, Ed.
We need to replace our current push camera that's used for video inspection of sewers. This is used on a regular basis. The last unit we purchased was in 1992. We use this almost daily, so it's a needed item. We received prices from 3 different vendors. P&H Supply submitted a price of $17,050.60. We do have the E-Verify and Save documentation in hand. We recommend approval of this purchase at $17,050.64.
Does the old camera still work?
It has issues.
Are we going to keep it as a backup?
Yeah, we'll keep it as a backup.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the low bid from P&H Supply.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, oh, you're done, Ed.
That's me.
Mr. Anderson, you got the next two.
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. We took bids for a 60-inch commercial mower. The low bid was from Taylor Farm Supply in the amount of $9,484.16. This is a budgeted item. We have all E-Verify and saved documentations, and I recommend approval.
Are there any questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve the low bid from Taylor Supply.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next one.
Yes, sir, Mayor, we took bids for a field groomer, which is used to drag the infields of our athletic fields, baseball and softball. Like today, we had 16 fields to line off for our programs. But we received one bid back from Jerry Pate Turf and Irrigation in the amount of $19,885.87. And this includes the items that we need to make it a field groomer. This is a budget item. We received all needed documentation for E-Verify and Save, and I recommend approval.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask this in the work session. Do we already have a field groomer? Do we have an old one or is this going to be a new kind of thing for us?
We do. We have two.
Okay.
We have one that was bought in '97, and we have one that was bought, I guess, 2007, and one that was bought in '98, I believe, and that's the one that we're using. We're using parts off another one to keep that one going.
Gotcha. And then the fact that we've only got one bid back, this is a pretty specialized piece of equipment, correct?
It is a specialized piece of equipment.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Was this, the 19,000 about what you had budgeted?
I'd budgeted 18,000 for that. But I also budgeted 12,000 for the mower, and it came in 3,000 under, so I'm still under in that capital account.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? If not, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Mr. Reinhardt.
Honorable Mayor and Council, if you remember last meeting, I brought before the council some vehicles that need to be purchased for the water department and the gas department. I was asked to reject those and to rebid those, and so here's where we are tonight. The bids were again placed on the city's website, and local vendors were notified by phone. I received two bids back from two vendors. Total overall lowest bid was from City Motors here in Cartersville in the amount of $119,602.34, followed by the second low overall bid of from Wade Ford for $119,741. Based on the overall total price, I recommend the purchase be made from the local bidder, City Motors, in the amount of $119,602.34. All E-Verify documents are on hand, and all documentation is completed correctly.
Okay. Very good. Any discussion on this item? And if not, Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Tom, you finish this off with a financial report.
Yes, sir. Financial information for comparing March 2013 to March 2012. In the general fund, revenues have decreased by $1.4 million. This is due to the school bond being paid off and the loss decrease. Expenses have decreased by $275,000. This is due to decreased school bond expense, coupled with the increase of personnel expenses, increased operating expenses, increased JDA debt. And the three areas that I look at on a monthly basis are the local officer sales tax. We have a decrease of $349,000. Police fines and forfeitures were increased by $75,000. And building permits and inspections have a decrease of $5,500. In the water and sewer fund, revenues have increased over last year by $169,000. Expenses have increased by $1.1 million. This is due mainly to increased personnel and capital expenses. In the gas fund, revenues have decreased from last year by $147,000. expenses have decreased by $1 million. This is due mainly to decreased cost of purchased gas. In the electric fund, revenues have decreased from last year by $82,000. Expenses have increased by $1.5 million. This is due to increased personnel expenses, increased operating expenses, increased cost of purchased electricity, and also increased capital expenses. Stormwater fund revenues have increased from last year by $175,000. This is due mainly to the reimbursement from the pre-disaster mitigation grant. Expenses have increased by $273,000. This is also largely due to the pre-disaster mitigation grant, along with increased capital expenses. Solid waste fund revenues have increased from last year by $158,000, and expenses have decreased by $134,000. This decrease is due to this increase is due to increased personnel and increased operating expenses. And finally, in the fiber optics fund, revenues have decreased from last year by $13,000. Expenses have increased by $229,000, and this is due to increased personnel expenses, increased operating expenses, and increased capital expenses. That is my financial report.
Questions for Tom on the financial report?
Tom, I think I've asked you this before, but one general thing in here is increased personnel expenses. Is that contributed to one thing? Is it insurance going up?
Due mainly to the insurance costs.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Any other business that needs to come before council this evening?
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. I have two items to bring before you. One of them is our monthly moonlight hike will be next Saturday, May the 25th. It's a Saturday, so I do expect a big crowd. We will be meeting at 8 o'clock and departing at 8:15, so we should have a good Saturday night. And then also, I'm going to stick my neck out one more time. Our Dillinger pool, the plaster job was finished today. We started filling the pool up, and we expect the pool to be ready and operational by opening day, which is also Saturday, May the 25th at 12 noon. We have poured over 440 yards of concrete, and I would like to publicly thank the city departments, the city water department, the electric department, public works. They've done a lot to keep this process on track and to make our deadline. So come out to the pool on Saturday the 25th. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Greg. Anything else that needs to come before council?
Oh, we just need to remind you, we've got a budget work session a week from tonight at 4:30.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
If there's nothing else to add, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Adjourn.